Arch Manning will be one of the SEC's best quarterbacks this year, and it's time for him to prove it.
Locked On presents The Portal, the daily podcast covering college football recruiting and everything NIL. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The Portal Podcast, where you get your daily recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. I'm your host, Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst. Thank you for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day, right here on the nation's #1 podcasting network, Locked On. And thank you to the fans for helping us get there. Today, we're going to be talking about Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns offense. Do they have what it takes to go along with some lofty expectations as we head into spring ball? Many are picking the Horns number one and certainly a top 10 team by pretty much any measurement. But the key to get the Horns over the top is Mr. Arch Manning himself. We'll talk about the 26 schedule for the Horns, a tremendously difficult schedule. From top to bottom, early in the season, they got Ohio State. They finished with Texas A&M. In between, Florida and Ole Miss and several other teams. Oklahoma, obviously, it's loaded. We'll get into that later in the show. The Texas offense, though, speaking of loaded, you got Hollywood Smothers coming over, Cam Coleman, you got Gooseby coming back at tackle. That offense has a chance to be the SEC's best. But to start, here's the key. How much progress has Arch Manning made? This is my take. After a slow start last year, the Ohio State game in particular, where the Longhorns scored just 7 points, and he was off his mark numerous times with open receivers, he showed a lot of progress, especially in the Mississippi State game when in the second half, they were down multiple scores and came back to win. Arch was up to the challenge. From that point forward, he was pretty good. And looking at that game, I mean, he ended up throwing for a whole bunch of yards here, 346 and 3 touchdowns. Next week, Vanderbilt, pretty good defense, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns. Week after, Georgia, 251 yards, another touchdown, 389 the week after against Arkansas. He was pretty consistent down the stretch. Now, A&M and Michigan gave him more problems because they got good defenses, but still, he was competitive, didn't throw any picks, and had 3 touchdowns. I think Manning has kind of taken that next step. He's understanding the offense better, when to throw, how to throw, knowing where his second and third progressions are, but he still has to take another step. If you take nothing else from this podcast, note this. Texas is a preseason top 5 team by many outlets. For that to come to fruition, he still has to take another step above the shoulders, meaning just flat out knowing where everybody is on the field, making his progressions, throwing on time, and throwing guys open. Throw to open grass, let his playmakers like a Cam Coleman or a Hollywood Smothers go get it. That will be the difference. Now, statistically, just to put it into perspective, this is a guy that's really, really good. And to be honest, I don't think anybody should be surprised by what he's got going on. But here's a little bit of something to look at with the slate. I want to put this back up a little later. This SEC schedule they have, again, I'm going to put it back up again later. We'll go through it in more detail. But just in the first 6 games, they've got Ohio State, at Tennessee, and Oklahoma. So it's not an easy one. You better be on your mark from the early part of the season onward. To that end, here are the numbers for Arch this past season. And I think there'll be similar numbers with a higher, I hope, passing percentage, maybe 3-4% higher, fewer attempts. But this past season for the Texas Longhorns, Arch Manning went 248 of 408, 60.8%. That's a little low in today's era. 3,163 yards, 7.8 yards per attempt, 26 touchdown passes, and 7 interceptions. Now, he's a runner too. But I want to focus when I'm talking about all these quarterbacks that I'm doing, it's about the passing game. Primarily, if you're going to get over the top, you usually need somebody that just makes the right reads. It's very complex in terms of actually executing it, but from a conceptual standpoint, that's just what it is. Do you or do you not make the reads to throw the ball into tough areas of the field, specifically the middle of the field, so you're not just throwing to the perimeter and wasting half the field there? He has to be able to do that better. And his receivers, will they be meshing with him? I would imagine Emmett Mosley and some of the other guys they have, they're pretty good players. And they've got Hollywood Smothers coming in to run the ball, Ray Brown, etc. They've got plenty of guys, but he still has to hit them. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to go with 64% as a minimum. I think closer to 66 is likely. They'll be in a lot of good situations. They'll run the ball better. That will help Arch. and his running ability as well will also get him out of some trouble where he can escape the pressure and get 4 or 5 yards rushing, move the chains. Those are the things that I think will happen with him. But let me be very clear. If nothing else, they should be explosive. Hollywood Smothers, explosive player. Rayleigh Brown's even faster, maybe more explosive. He had over 1,100 yards last year for Arizona State. Really went under the radar in the portal. Great pickup by the Texas staff. And then on top of that, they didn't stop. They went and got the best offensive tackle, arguably, outside of Jordan Seaton going to LSU. They got the young man from Wake Forest to come in and play tackle opposite of Gooseby. This should be a loaded offense and maybe one that is as good as it gets, not just in the SEC, but in the country. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, some of the weapons, some of my expectations. I've got a few questions, and then we'll get into that schedule. That is next right here on the Portal Podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the hardwood. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn all that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can mix the spreads, the totals, halftime scores, player props, whatever it is that you think needs to happen. Maybe a great team is going to be looking past somebody and you think that's going to be the upset. That's up for you to decide. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. We are also brought to you by Game Time. The biggest stretch of the college basketball season is almost here with the buzzer beaters, bracket busters, and those unforgettable moments that everyone's talking about the next day at the office, but being there live. There's something about live sporting events, and college basketball is one of the absolute best. That's bucket list stuff. The hard part is always actually getting the tickets, long queues, prices jumping around, and surprising fees at the end of the transaction leave you shaking your head. Game Time, that app, well, it's a little bit different because it gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. I had the opportunity to not go to just one, but 2 college basketball games, and I used the Game Time app both times. Here's the gist of it. 5 minutes in and out with your credit card information put in. You will get your information sent to you with email. It's pretty simple. You'll get your tickets before you ever get to game day, and then you walk into the arena and you enjoy it. While you're in the app, this is the best part. You can see your seat view. You're going to have the opportunity to know what the price is up front, and there won't be any surprises. Take the guesswork out of buying college basketball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. That's the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app today. Make sure you check out the Everydayer Club if you have not already. Down below in the description, it'll have more information, including the Discord. We all check out the national board and different sites on the Discord on the Locked On Network. It's a lot of fun. But the most important thing, $5 a month or $50 a year, your audio feed will have no ads. It's up to you, $5 a month or $50 a year. Check out the Everydayer Club. Let's talk a little Texas weapons here. It's pretty straightforward to me. Throw deep to Cam Coleman. Emmett Mosley's really good. Don't forget about all the other receivers, anybody else that rotates in, no matter who else in the starting lineup's still in there, they're going to draw the double teams. And, oh, by the way, Hollywood Smothers can catch. He's going to be a 1,000-yard runner. They're going to have Rayleigh Brown, who's maybe as explosive as a player as there is in college football, as maybe the backup. This offense should be absolutely cataclysmic for most. Like they're just not going to be able to handle them. O-line will be more experienced. Gooseby was going to be the tackle that he'll be in some award lists possibilities. Maybe he'll end up winning multiple awards. Who knows? But Texas should have as good an offense as there is in the game. Here's my question. It's still about the clutch moments. And Ward only knows what their schedule. I told you I was going to put it back up on the screen. Yeah, it's going to be there. Are they going to be ready all the way through? So again, here's that schedule. And my goodness, Texas was not handed any favors here let's just kind of go through it. Second game of the year, September 12th, Buckeyes come to town. 2 weeks later, they travel to the other UT, the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, to play at Rocky Top and Neyland Stadium. They don't have a quarterback necessarily, but that's not an easy game. Then they get an open date before they play the hated Oklahoma Sooners in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. Always a great game. Right after, no time for a letdown. They got the Gators at home. Then they turn around. They've got Ole Miss at home. Then they've got Mississippi State at home. That's a pretty good little stretch there. But if you screw around, you could lose more than one. Any of them is capable. Remember, Mississippi State almost beat Arch Manning and the Horns last year. Tomorrow Taylor and those guys will be back. Then you go to Missouri. That is a bit of a trap game. It is November 7th. They'll be a good football team. But it's a trap game because the following week you go to LSU. That's going to be the Arch Manning Bowl. What do I mean by that? Well, it's pretty simple. It's from New Orleans. Didn't go to LSU, obviously. Didn't really look at them that much, to be honest. Huge game against Kiffin and company. That will be a big game. They have Arkansas, a rivalry of sorts. But the real rivalry will be the following Friday when they travel to College Station to take on A&M. By my count, there is at least 6 games here they could possibly lose. But they're I'm going to guess, they won't be an underdog in more than 1 or 2 games. Maybe A&M or LSU, but I don't think they'll be an underdog in any other game prior to that, unless something goes sideways or there's a major injury. That's the case, then obviously it could go sideways. So here are a couple quick questions that I have. I'll leave the schedule up there, and then just let you look at that, and then I'll jump into the questions. But number one, 35 points per game, yes or no? I think yes. What's the weakness of the offense? Just not knowing the depth. They may be pretty top-heavy, but they've got enough. Arch Manning's accuracy, we talked about that, and how quick does he make decisions? Those are some generic ones. And then I also have a few others that I want to talk about that I think are really important, so let's hit on those. After the improvement with the offense and the accuracy, they got those as 1, 2. How does he play specifically against those elite teams, Ohio State, Tennessee, Oklahoma? Does he make not just a mistake, but like that, oh, no, he didn't just do that kind of mistake? That's important. And then finally, are they going to be the best offense in the SEC? Not necessarily the one that scores the most, meaning they can go up-tempo when they want. They can run 4-minute offense when they want, but they will be really good in those specialty situations. 3rd and 3. 3rd and goal. Are you clutch? Those are the things that I'm really looking at the most, because if Texas can do those things, they can be the best team in the SEC, get a number 1 or number 2 seed overall. Wouldn't be surprised they were like 11-1. I don't think they'll go undefeated, but if they go 11-1 against that schedule, that would be tremendous. And Texas has a chance at a bye. If they do all those things, that means Arch Manning's accuracy improved, his decision-making and understanding of the offense has also escalated, and Horns fans are going to be happy. I think it's going to be a really good year on the 40 acres, but we got to see it happen. I'm curious to see Texas during the spring practice session, so looking forward to it. Thank you once again for checking out the Portal Podcast. I appreciate it. We'll have more of these breakdowns coming up. We'll have Oklahoma and several other teams moving into the Big Ten here pretty soon as well. Thank you again for checking out the Portal Podcast.